The morning fog clung to the mountains of Hokkaido like a curtain hiding a secret. Silence hung in the air until a low, thunderous rumble broke through the mist. Moments later, a shadow emerged, slicing upward through the cold air with predatory precision. A Japanese AH-64 Apache. Its rotors carved the fog apart as the gunship rose into view, dark, imposing, and unmistakably ready for war. But this wasn't the same Apache flown by the U.S. Army. This one carried mysteries of its own. As the helicopter banked left, its sensors lit up the valley below. A single command crackled through the radio. The pilot squeezed the trigger. Boom! A shockwave echoed through the mountains as a specialized round tore through reinforced steel targets like they were paper. This isn't just an Apache. Japan modified it, upgraded it, perfected it, and armed it with ammunition the world rarely talks about. To understand why, you have to understand the storm building over East Asia. Japan sits in one of the most volatile regions on Earth. North Korean missiles constantly pierce the atmosphere. Chinese warships push deeper into disputed waters. Russian bombers circle Japan's airspace more aggressively every year. For decades, Japan relied on allies, especially the United States, to serve as its shield. But the world was changing faster than diplomacy could keep up. Japan needed a new kind of protector, a weapon built for rapid response, precision strikes, and psychological dominance. And that answer came in the form of the AH-64 Apache, a helicopter originally meant for the deserts of the Middle East, now reborn for the forests, mountains, and island chains of the Pacific. But what Japan did next shocked defense analysts worldwide. They didn't just buy the Apache. They gave it classified electronics, unique armor composites, and a controversial ammunition package that many nations refused to produce, or even admit existed. This weapon wasn't built to send a message. It was built to end a threat before it ever reached Japanese shores.
Japan's decision to adopt the AH-64 Apache didn't come from ambition, it came from necessity. For decades, Japan operated under a strict self-defense philosophy, a doctrine shaped after World War II that emphasized protection over power. Its military, officially called the Japan Self-Defense Forces, or JSDF, was designed to deter threats, not project force. But the world around Japan was changing rapidly and dangerously. Throughout the 1990s and early 2000s, regional tensions in East Asia intensified. North Korea's expanding missile program, rising territorial disputes in the East China Sea, and China's rapidly modernizing military all pushed Japan into a new era where speed, precision, and immediate response became essential for survival. The JSDF realized they needed a helicopter that could intercept threats instantly, destroy armored vehicles, and provide air cover in complex terrain, from dense urban centers to mountainous regions. That's when the AH-64 Apache emerged as the clear choice. The aircraft had already proven itself as one of the most lethal attack helicopters ever built, a machine designed to dominate the skies and turn the tide of battle even in extreme conditions. But Japan didn't just want to purchase Apaches. They wanted the ability to build and maintain them domestically. This led to a major decision: acquire the AH-64 under a licensed production agreement, allowing Japanese companies, especially Fuji Heavy Industries, to construct the helicopters locally. This wasn't just a military upgrade, it was a strategic transformation. As soon as Japan began working with the Apache's design, engineers saw opportunities to strengthen it, improve it, adapt it specifically for Japan's defensive needs. Because Japan wasn't trying to create a carbon copy of the American Apache, they were reinventing it. New avionics, enhanced sensors, upgraded targeting systems, and specialized ammunition, all tailored to Japan's unique threat environment. Japan's Apache became more than a purchase. It became a statement. A message to the world that Japan, a nation once restricted in military capability, was evolving, fast, smart, and with precision. Japan didn't just assemble the Apache. They rebuilt it for a battlefield unlike any other. The result is what many analysts informally call the AH-64J, a Japan-optimized variant engineered for the nation's rugged mountains, dense forests, and vast chain of remote islands. Where the original American Apache was designed for open deserts and large-scale land battles, Japan's version had to survive an entirely different environment: close-quarters island warfare, sudden weather shifts, and the constant threat of maritime incursions.
The first major upgrade came in the form of advanced Japanese avionics. Engineers integrated homegrown communication suites designed to operate seamlessly across Japan's network of coastal radar stations and maritime patrol assets. This allowed the Apache to maintain stable data links even during low-altitude flight through narrow valleys or over choppy seas, conditions that often disrupt standard systems. In a region where storms can form in minutes, this reliability became a tactical advantage. Then came the sensors. Japan equipped its Apache with enhanced electro-optical targeting systems, including upgraded infrared cameras capable of identifying heat signatures across fog-covered hills and rain-drenched forests. These weren't simple improvements. They were built specifically for Japan's climate, where visibility often drops to near zero. Even in pitch-black darkness, the upgraded optics allowed pilots to detect incoming vessels, armored vehicles, or low-flying drones long before they appeared on traditional radar. Speaking of radar, the Japanese Apache's longbow radar suite received special tuning as well. By adapting the mast-mounted radar for maritime conditions, engineers made it more effective at tracking fast-moving targets over water, a crucial capability when monitoring contested regions like the Senkaku Islands. This modified longbow could pick out individual enemy craft in the clutter of ocean waves, giving pilots a crystal-clear battlefield picture that the standard Apache could never achieve. But Japan didn't stop there. The Apache's night combat performance was dramatically enhanced. Pilots were trained to fight in low-light conditions using a combination of Japanese-made helmet displays and boosted thermal sensors. These upgrades turned the helicopter into a silent predator, able to sweep through mountain passes or hover above remote islands while remaining nearly invisible to enemy detection systems. All of these improvements served a larger purpose: precision. Japan needed a helicopter that could identify threats instantly and neutralize them with zero margin for error, especially when operating close to civilian fishing zones or contested coastlines. And that's where the most mysterious part of the story comes in. Because the AH-64J wasn't only enhanced with sensors and optics, it was built to use specialized ammunition developed specifically for Japan's defense needs. Ammunition designed for pinpoint strikes, low collateral damage, and rapid penetration of armored targets. Japan's Apache is impressive on its own, but what truly elevates it into a strategic nightmare for any adversary is the ammunition it carries. These aren't the standard rounds you find on American Apaches. They are Japan-engineered, Japan-optimized, and Japan-classified in many areas. And together, they form the backbone of the AH-64J's almost supernatural accuracy. The first of these is the Type 91 Mod missile, an upgraded version of Japan's indigenous short-range anti-air system. Originally designed for ground launchers, this missile was re-engineered to be fired from the Apache, a move that shocked analysts when it was first revealed.
The modified Type 91 isn't just an anti-air missile, it's a multi-threat countermeasure. It can lock onto incoming drones, low-flying cruise missiles, or enemy helicopters skimming just above the waves. Its seeker head was enhanced to perform in Japan's unique weather conditions. detecting heat signatures even through humidity-heavy fog or tropical rain. For a nation facing increasing drone incursions, this missile offered a silent promise. No foreign aircraft enters Japanese airspace unnoticed or unchallenged. Next comes the backbone of the Apache's firepower, the Japanese spec Hellfire missile. On paper, it looks identical to the American AGM-114, but internally, it carries a game-changing modification, a custom-designed seeker head giving it a longer lock-on range and superior target discrimination. Why is this important? Because Japan's primary threats often approach from the sea, hidden among fishing fleets, civilian vessels, or natural terrain clutter. A standard missile might struggle to filter friend from foe, but Japan's Hellfire can detect the faint signature of an approaching landing craft or armored vehicle before it comes within firing distance. In a region where seconds determine victory, this expanded targeting window is priceless. But the most intriguing part of the AH-64J's arsenal sits not on its wings, but beneath its nose. Japan developed special armor-penetrating rounds for the Apache's 30mm chain gun, ammunition engineered to punch through hardened bunkers, amphibious assault vehicles, and even makeshift coastal fortifications. Unlike typical high-explosive rounds, these rounds use a high-density penetrator core with delayed micro-detonation. The result? A shot that tears through thick steel or concrete before exploding inside the target, maximizing internal damage while minimizing collateral spread. It's the perfect round for defending island bases, airstrips, and narrow beaches, exactly where Japan might face an amphibious landing. To understand why this matters, imagine a scenario. A Chinese fast attack craft pierces the fog near disputed waters. It moves low, silent, hidden among fishing trawlers. Japan scrambles its Apache. With its enhanced radar and Japanese spec Hellfire, the helicopter identifies the hostile vessel long before it reaches the exclusion line. A single missile streaks across the water, precise, unmistakable, final. Or take a different scene. Armored amphibious vehicles grind onto a remote beach during a tense standoff. Before they can form up, the Apache rises from behind a cliff. The Type 91 mod missile shoots down an enemy drone providing overwatch. Seconds later, armor-penetrating 30mm rounds shred the lead vehicle, detonating its internal systems. Every weapon, every round, every seeker is built not for conquest, but for precision defense.
And together, they give Japan's Apache a frightening edge, the ability to neutralize threats instantly, accurately, and with surgical control. Every round, every missile, every sensor operates as part of one synchronized system: detection, decision, destruction, with human judgment steering the loop. The result is rapid, decisive neutralization with minimized collateral damage. For many, it seems contradictory that a nation famous for its pacifist constitution would develop one of the most lethal helicopter attack systems in the region. But Japan's Apache story isn't about conquest, it's about survival. Since the end of World War II, Japan has lived under a defense doctrine shaped by a single guiding principle: never strike first, but never be unprepared again. The 8H-64J, with its custom-built sensors and specialized ammunition, fits perfectly into this framework. Japan doesn't view it as an offensive war machine, but as a tool designed to ensure that no adversary ever miscalculates Japan's resolve. In other words, the Apache's strength is meant to prevent conflict, not ignite it. This philosophy becomes clearer when you look at Japan's neighborhood. To the west, China's rapid military expansion and growing activity near the Senkaku Islands have forced Japan to strengthen its response capability. Japanese officials openly state that without credible deterrence, any territorial dispute could spiral into a dangerous confrontation. To the north, North Korea's unpredictable missile launches, sometimes flying directly over Japanese territory, constantly test Japan's defense readiness. Each launch is a reminder that Japan sits within reach of volatile threats, and that preparedness isn't optional. Further north still, Russia's military presence in the Far East has increased in recent years. Joint patrols with China and expanding naval operations near Hokkaido add another layer of strategic pressure. In this environment, Japan's Apache is more than a helicopter. It's a message. Its advanced optics, precision weapons, and rapid deployment abilities signal that Japan will defend its airspace, its islands, and its people with absolute seriousness. Yet even with cutting-edge systems, Japan maintains strict rules of engagement. Every upgrade, every weapon, and every mission profile is framed within the same constitutional promise: use force only to stop aggression, never to start it. Japan's Apache program is far from finished. In fact, it's entering its most transformative phase yet. As regional tensions intensify and new technologies reshape the battlefield, Japan is preparing the AH-64J for a future where helicopters won't fight alone, and threats will move faster than any pilot can react. One of the biggest changes on the horizon is Apache drone teaming. Japan is actively testing systems that will allow AH-64Js to control small reconnaissance drones directly from the cockpit. These drones can fly ahead, scan coastlines, track enemy vessels, and even mark targets for precision strikes. This means a Japanese Apache could detect an incoming threat minutes before it appears on enemy radar, giving Japan a massive strategic advantage during island defense operations. Next comes AI-enhanced targeting. Japan's defense researchers are upgrading the Apache's onboard computers to analyze movement patterns, heat signatures, and missile trajectories in real time. This AI assistance won't replace the pilot, but it will help identify threats faster, lock onto targets more accurately, and reduce reaction time to fractions of a second. On a modern battlefield where hypersonic drones and stealthy unmanned systems are emerging, these milliseconds matter. Japan is also exploring longer-range missile options, including extended-range Hellfire variants and a possible domestic anti-ship missile designed specifically for fast-moving naval targets near disputed islands. Paired with improved armor and lightweight composite plating, the next generation of AH-64J may be tougher, deadlier, and able to strike from farther away. Perhaps the most secretive development is next-gen ammunition for the Apache's 30mm chain gun. Reports hint at new penetrator rounds capable of piercing reinforced bunkers, as well as programmable airburst munitions that can detonate mid-air to intercept drones or enemy infantry behind cover. If confirmed, this would drastically expand the Apache's role from attack helicopter to multi-mission air defense asset. Together, these upgrades signal a clear truth. Japan is preparing for a threat environment unlike anything in the past. A battlefield where drones swarm, missiles strike without warning, and wars unfold across islands and coastlines. And in that future, the upgraded AH-64J, partnered with drones, guided by AI, and armed with next-generation weapons, will remain Japan's sharpest spear and strongest shield.